Why revisit 9/11? Our world will change that day. 2,744 lives lost in New York. 1 million lives lost in Afghanistan. 6,000 U.S. troops lost in the war on terror and counting. 4.5 trillion, costing the U.S. taxpayers precious civil liberties removed by the Patriot Act, Military Commission Act, Department of Homeland Security, Transportation Security Administration, National Defense Authorization Act. Today, Americans can be subject to search and seizure without a warrant, detained or imprisoned indefinitely, without charge, without evidence, without a lawyer, without a trial, or even tortured or assassinated, merely for being accused of being associated with terrorism. Ignoring the World Trade Center evidence is no longer an option. Now, this is a video that's an intro on YouTube. You need to check it out. 9/11, explosive evidence. Experts speak out. 1 hour free version. There are so many things going on. Most Americans are not even aware of how our civil liberties have been violated, how the Constitution has been aborted. And the Congress just last year passed the NDAA Act, the National Defense Authorization Act, which basically even makes it easier for those who would violate our rights to do so. This cannot be tolerated. This cannot be accepted. Listen to John B. Wells for a moment from Coast to Coast Radio.
We don't talk about it every day. We can't, because you get numb to it. You just get numb to it. But it hasn't gone away. And may I just take this opportunity to tell you, and this is a personal piece of transmission here. I'm really proud of you. I am proud of my countrymen and my countrywomen, because you people are getting into this big time. Drones, we don't want them. Second Amendment stuff, pro and con, probably a real bad idea to give up our firearms, particularly now. Better to have them and not need them than to need them and not have them. We don't want to need them ever. But just in case, they are there. And this NDAA thing, the legislation that allows not the guy 2 people over from you, or that lady over there, or this person, or that fellow over there wearing the shemag, or that guy with the beret, or that lady with the Southern Belle hat. All of us, anybody, you, me, whomever. Well, we have reason to believe that you are cavorting with potential terrorists. Really? And so, what? Well, we can have the military come over and arrest you and just spirit you away to an undisclosable location. It's going to be undisclosable to you, without a lawyer, without a phone call, without a charge, indefinitely. State Senator Bob Hasagawa knows all about that. And we'll bring him on shortly. Let me just get through a couple of little points here news-wise. You're going to enjoy this tonight, and then for the last couple hours of the program.
Okay, now also on Coast to Coast, last night was investigative reporter named Wayne Madsen. Let's see. Okay, Wayne Madsen is a Washington, D.C. based investigative journalist, author, and syndicated columnist. He has written for The Village Voice, The Progressive, Counterpunch, Online Journal, Horror Watch, Multinational Monitor, News Insider, and In These Times. Madsen has some 20 years' experience in security issues. As a U.S. naval officer, he managed one of the first computer security programs for the U.S. Navy. He subsequently worked for the National Security Agency, the Naval Data Automative Command, Department of State, RCA Corporation, and Computer Sciences Corporation. Madsen is a member of the Society of Professional Journalists and the National Press Club. His columns have appeared in the Miami Herald, Houston Chronicle, Philadelphia Inquirer, Columbus Dispatch, Sacramento Bee, and the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Among others, Madsen is the author of the Handbook of Personal Data Protection and an acclaimed reference book on international data protection law, genocide, and covert operations in Africa in 1993 through 1999. And he's the co-author of America's Nightmare, The Presidency of George Bush II. Wayne Madsen is currently investigating the murder, but what the authorities call as double murder and suicide, of Philip, I think his name is Morris. I've kind of lost his page now. Let's see. Damn it. We gotta go to history. The Wayne Madsen Report. The Wayne Madsen Report. He would like you to sign the White House petition for the Department of Justice to investigate the murders of author Phil Marshall and his children. The authorities say that this was a double murder and suicide, that Phil Marshall killed his two children along with himself. We do not believe this. Mr. Madsen doesn't believe this. We believe it's a black operation. Phil Marshall wrote a book called The Big Bamboozle and outlining what happened on 9/11. Apparently, he must have gotten too close to the truth because him and his two children were murdered. So go to the WayneMadsenReport.com website and click on the sign the petition for the White House to enter into this investigation. The strange thing about our government, we have many departments, factions in the government. In most cases, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. But that doesn't mean that everything. That means that everything is not always as it seems. And basically, what we have is a condition where illegal activities occur on quite a normal basis. We know that 9/11 was a false flag operation. We know that continued illegal activities go on continuously throughout the world. We know that the government, portions of the government, continue to pass laws, make laws that will ultimately one day imprison us all. The NDAA is such a law. We need to stop it at this point in time. We need to elect people who will stop it. We cannot let this idly go by. This must be repeated by word of mouth. When you go to work, tell your friends, your fellow employees, on your coffee breaks, at lunchtime. This is exactly how Germany under Hitler became into being. But this will be much worse than Hitler. It started with Bush, and unfortunately, by whatever reasons unbeknown to me, Obama, in some aspects, although he seems to give a little more concern to you and I, the average people, he's still, in efforts for bipartisanship, seems to be placating the GOP, even though, how do you think so? But the GOP and the Democrats and Obama signed the NDAA law. It basically states the United States military can come into be a police force within our own country, haul you up, arrest you without any warrants, any charges, actually just because they feel like it, and haul you off to a prison camp or some unknown area, and you'll never be seen again. Something similar happened to us at the beginning of the Second World War, when Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed an executive order to round up all the American Japanese that lived in this country. And they round them up with no charges, and they hauled them all off. A lot of them lost their homes because they were in that concentration camp for over 3 years. The Supreme Court ultimately declared that was unconstitutional, but not before all the damage had been had happened. In 1986, a law was passed saying they would not be able to do that again, and I don't remember the name of it now, but apparently that has been forgotten. And we once again are on the road to totalitarianism. But anyway, tell your friends, the only hope we have, at least going to some type of revolution eventually in this country, which I hope we never see that come to pass. But we must restore our Constitution. We must restore our values. We must restore the cornerstone of our society, the American family. Go to Wayne Madson's website, madsonsreport.com. There's a link there to sign the petition to have the Justice Department investigate the murder of author Philip Marshall and his son and daughter in Murphy's, California. Author in Iran-Contra scandal Philip Marshall, his 17-year-old son, Alex, his 14-year-old daughter, Makalaya, and their pet dog were shot to death on or about January 31st, 2013 at their home in Murphy's, California. The Calaveras County Sheriff's Department prematurely contaminated the crime scene, and ruled the deaths a murder-suicide by Mr. Marshall, even though forensic evidence proves the deaths to be a triple homicide. Mr. Marshall, a retired United Airlines pilot who once worked with the DEA CIA contract employee Barry Seal, himself gunned down in Boca Raton, Louisiana on February 19, 1986, as well as Iran-Contra scandal felon Oliver North, had good reason to fear for his life. The murders of Marshall calls for a full investigation by the Civil Rights Division of the United States Department of Justice and the FBI. Well, this is Ion Citrus. We're going to be posting a link to this petition on our site too, ioncitrus.com. And this is the Lone Wolf, wishing you a good Sunday. Peace.